All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Strength Classroom. Today, I have a very special guest. About a year ago, someone asked me about just unconventional training methods, and I did my best to do a video. And I thought, who better to get than Tom Degiuli? It's where I basically learned all my unconventional methods, whether you see me do something with a sandbag, with a heavy kettlebell, with a landmine, etc., etc. I just learned it all from him just popping up in my Instagram feed. So I have some questions for him, and he'll give us your answers about all sorts of unconventional training methods. So what's up, Tom? How are you?
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. And every time somebody tells me that they have found inspiration or they found knowledge from what I do, it means a lot to me because it shows that what I'm doing is actually working. Like I can show my training and my style all day long, but what I want to do is just be impressionable on people in a good way. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
No problem. So what I ask all my guests to do, just as a general introduction, like how long have you been training? How did you start training? Your evolution along the years? Just a brief breakdown of that.
So basically, long story short, I was a martial artist for a good time in my life, over a decade. I did Muay Thai, karate, jiu-jitsu, boxing, all the stuff. And that was the baseline of me being in the mentality that I am now. I did Muay Thai and karate for 8 years, got punched in the mouth, needed surgery. My teeth were all fucked up, and I needed to get surgery on my two front teeth. Stopped that. I got into jiu-jitsu a year later. I just did bodybuilding for about a year. And then I got into jiu-jitsu. I met my coach, did that for 5 years, and then nagging injuries were catching up. And I competed for a while, but it wasn't really fulfilling for me anymore, especially after I got injured of my knee and I couldn't really do jiu-jitsu for 2 months. I always enjoyed strength training more. So I just said, all right, let me just take a break. Let me take a hiatus from it. Maybe I'll go back one day, but probably not. Then fast forward to COVID. Everybody has the COVID story. I started with three kettlebells, two 35-pound bells, and a 53-pound. So I was like, oh, this is nice. I like this. This is fun. But also, there's nothing to do when you're home all day. So I was working out twice a day, not doing much. I had my EMT course because I was originally wanted to become a nurse, but then that all went to shit once COVID came. I went to my friend Alex Williams kettlebell workout, Sunday Swings, New York City, for everybody, for all my New York people listening. And I loved it. I never saw kettlebells that heavy, and seeing the attributes and the aspect of it all was amazing. And just the community aspect of it was really nice. It was cool. So after that, I just started buying shit. Honestly, I just started buying clubs, kettlebells, sandbags, anything that I could get my hands on. And then I was renting space from a friend's gym, and then eventually I outgrew it, and then it turned into my gym now. So, yeah, that's basically the long run. I've been doing this stuff since I was 10 years old. So yeah.
Cool, cool. And your current training style, how would you describe that in maybe like a sentence or two?
Stuff that nobody does or nobody wants to do, basically.
Based on what I've seen, that sounds pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Um, Do you? I think I've seen it in your stories where I just don't know what they're called. You do some sort of competitions. It looks like basically the lifts you do, but it almost looks like it's like a strongman competition just with like landmines and sandbags and stuff. Could you like elaborate on
So,
what that is?
yeah. So I've done a handful of competitions. I did the Sandbag Games with Dr. Sandbag. Jake, he hosted that, and I did compete in that last year. Alex Canella is the owner of Landmine U. He's run two competitions. So every year now he's doing a Landmine Games, which is the clean and jerk and the snatch on the landmine. I've dabbled in strongman. I did compete in Worlds in Ireland, and I sucked. I sucked. I was like, damn, these guys are next level. They were doing kegs, 600-pound Kratos bar, the elephant bar, the bar that whips, because I don't know how to do that. It was just a really humbling experience, but I was like, you know what? I'm with the best in the world. I'm able to stand toe to toe with them if I can. I didn't come in last, so that was my goal. That was my goal. I cannot come in last. If I come in last, I'm like, all right, I'm really bad. Um, yeah, so I've dabbled into strongman, jiu-jitsu, a lot of different competitions as well. Yeah.
Okay, so it seems like they're kind of like even more niche event like strongman competitions.
I would say so, yeah. So this style training has definitely been prevalent for only 5 years, whereas strongman and bodybuilding and powerlifting that's been around for a long time. So landmine U and with the landmine, that's just up and coming. So this was the second year they were doing it.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah.
If someone would like to train like you, but they don't want to, you don't want to like throw all the lifts at them at once. So what would you say is like one of your lifts, whether it's a sandbag movement, landmine, et cetera, that you could say start off with this?
So that's actually my next business plan, and that's my next idea of what I want to do with this type of stuff because the common recurring things that I've heard or that I've been told is that, oh, I don't have access to all the equipment that you have. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to train the sandbag. I don't know how to train steel clubs. So that's actually the next thing that I'm actually trying to do. So I started it this week. I started just making a Google account and starting writing down stuff and making a presentation like a course per se. I have a lot of inspiration from my girlfriend, Sam Siasi. Shout out to her because she does her own kettlebell certification with Bell Mechanics, her company, and she's really smart when it comes to teaching. She's very big into teaching and instruction, and listening to her and doing her whole course and her certification, I go, wow, she is providing value to the community and giving people what they need, like problem solving. People don't know how to use kettlebells the right way. Boom, she's got it covered to with that. So basically, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I get so many questions all the time, and people look at my stuff, and I don't follow any other type of program besides myself. So if people want to start learning this stuff, then I mean, I have like instructionals, like I have a sandbag instructional, I have a landmine, but to put everything into like a course and to put everything in a line of work where it's all accessible right there and they do it piece by piece. That's actually like my next project and what I want to accomplish. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. You speaking of instructional, I think that's how I first came across you in general. It actually wasn't through Instagram. You did a landmine clean tutorial on Landmine University's YouTube channel.
Cool.
And I was never too much into traditional cleans or snatches. I broke my collarbone when I was younger, so front squatting with the bar there, it's kind of it healed in like a zigzag. So front squatting has always been just out of the question type of thing. It like jams into my bone, and it's just like it already like annoys me with 135. How can I even go heavier? And then when I saw that video, I was like, huh, that doesn't involve my collarbone at all, and it just seemed so different. Like it seemed like because all the weight is in literally one big ball as opposed to evenly spread out on the side. And that's what got me thinking. I was like, huh, I think I can pull that off. And that's when I found you on Instagram. And then I was like, oh, sandbags are pretty cool. And I was like, damn, I didn't know kettlebells could get that heavy. And it was almost like a
Awesome.
little unconventional rabbit hole that I went down. And uh, I just ordered because I have a 48 kilo kettlebell, and then I had a really big one. I think it's 80 kilos, but I have nothing in between. And then so I just ordered a 124-pound one, and it came
Nice.
to the house when I wasn't home. And the guy's like, I put special instructions. I said you could just leave it at the edge of the driveway. No one is stealing it. Don't worry.
Nobody is
There's no
stealing it.
porch pirates taking that. So my wife happened to be home. I didn't think she would be, and the guy's like, "Can I just leave this in the garage?" And she's like, "Wait, can you bring it to the front steps?" He's like, "No, I can't pick it up. It's over 100 pounds." And my wife goes, "Of course it is." And so, but it's cool training with heavy. I was talking to someone, but the heavy kettlebells in general, I like when the actual handle starts getting thicker. It's
Mm.
like very like indirect grip training at the same time, especially like once you get up there. What's your heaviest one? Do you have like a 400-pound one almost?
So I will show you. I have 414 and 450 coming in next in June or July. Yeah, so the heaviest one I have is this one right here, the 362. You like, I mean, obviously this shit is not needed. Like, you do not
Yeah.
need to have you don't need to have a whole set. Do it, but you know, at that point, I really wanted to show people what is possible with heavy kettlebells. A 362, most honestly, like most dudes, they can deadlift it. It's not hard, like because it's so condensed. It's different than like a regular straight bar deadlift, but most of the guys that I have, or even some of the girls, like they can deadlift it. And I swing it, I deadlift it, and I single arm deadlift it. That's really it. With heavy kettlebells in that training sense, like it really just depends on how in depth you want to dive into it. Because, like you said, it is a rabbit hole. Kettlebells, just talking about that, it's a skill. So you need to learn how to do all this stuff. Like you can go from cleaning a 35-pound belt to a 176, like it's possible, but it takes time. So with the barbell, I've gotten into debates with people about this stuff, and like I look at them and all right, cool. Like you can front squat, you can power clean, you can snatch. Not really that impressive of weight, and you can do all that stuff with the kettlebell and more. Because I'm the same way. Like I do not understand the concept of the bar of your elbows up, if it's lat tightness, or where to put it, or where to squat. My hips are so externally rotated and they're so tight that I don't have the dorsiflexion in my ankles to get in those positions. So it's interesting. I tell the guys, I'm like, weight is weight. Like it, you can clean it, you can snatch it, you can press it. It's the same shit. And like, guys will say, "Oh, well, the barbell is king, and I need to do this, I need to do that." No, you just need to do what your body can be accustomed to and what it loves. Like, I am good with kettlebells. I did that over the barbell, and I'm not shitting on the barbell because I do bench squat and deadlift, but if you have, especially if you have clients too, if they don't get the barbell down, but they get the kettlebell and it's easy to teach it to them, that's another attribute too, like coaching with your business. So the barbell is very linear, kettlebells is not. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree with that. Uh, I think I saw one time it was either in your story or in a reel. You did. I can't remember what you called it, but I'll just describe it through my question. What the way you train? Do you think there are any, like, let's say, gaps in your training, like weak points, whether they're muscular or technical, and like how would you address that?
There's definitely three things. Number one being hamstring strength, because there's nothing that you can really do to like perfectly isolate the hamstring, like a leg curl, like a Nordic curl, like a leg extension machine, like to really target it. I mean, you could do RDLs all day long, but you have to get the contraction and the flex of the muscle and getting blood pumping to it. So I think the biggest thing is hamstring strength. You do build within the hinge, but you need to have some isolation. Two is a lot of hinging. This stuff is a lot of hinging. Kettlebells, sandbags. There is some extension work, but mostly you're hinging forward and you're going into flexion and picking that thing up. And kettlebells is the same thing. You're going deep, deep, deep into that hinge. So you got to make sure you're doing a lot of different things for your hips too. So a lot of hinging, a lot of pulling. So you got to add your pushes in there. And to add into three, the push is the chest strength. Like, you know, push ups you can do chest presses with the kettlebells and like different ways to do it. But, I bench, I barbell bench, I use the fat bells, I use dumbbells. So the biggest things are hamstring isolation work, a lot of hinging, and lacking of the chest work that you have to actually implement into your training. Grabbing resistance bands, grabbing dumbbells, barbell bench press, laying down flat and taking a resistance band and doing a shitload of hamstring curls, stuff like that.
Okay.
That's what I've dealt with.
Okay, and I was I was gonna ask this question if I found a natural segue, but I feel like I just found it. Well, I've seen you don't say it as much anymore in your stories, but where exactly did the term "pussy boy chest" come from?
Did that come in? I did that come in. I think it was with my friend Adam Asgooch, my friend Adam from St. Petersburg, and that was just I just had a terrible chest. Like out of every movement, my chest is terrible. Like it always has been the worst. Like I can barely bench 315 for like one rep. Like it's got to be on a good day. My hips are totally above the bench. and I'm able to like get my 150 fat bells up. But like I see guys like rep out that stuff for like 15 reps. It's wild. I think it was from Adam. I don't know. Maybe I just started saying on my on my story talking shit, just like making it funny. Yeah. That's funny. Adam's like, oh, you got to make a pussy boy chest program. Guys need this. I go, yeah, I need it. I need it myself. So
Because
funny.
I interpreted it in a bunch of different ways. I'm like, maybe he's saying chest is not important. Maybe he's saying
Yeah.
his chest is pussy. Like I was just like, I don't
Yep.
really know how to interpret this.
Yep. Based
Um,
the second one, 100%.
so speaking of, do you ever have maybe just a session here or there or a period of time where you do have almost like, let's say, a block where in addition to your unconventional training that you do some like specific bodybuilding or hypertrophy work just to like shore up any weak points?
Hmm. Well, what did I do today? Today, yeah, yeah. Last night I had them do some isometric holds in a lunge, and they did some kettlebell halos. They did some single arm overhead extensions, kind of like laying down a skull crusher, but doing it overhead standing. Honestly, the bodybuilding movements I'll use as a warm up. Like we'll take, let's say the fat bells. We'll do a hammer curl. The hex press. We'll do 12 to 15 reps. Band pull parts, some tricep extensions. What else? Like maybe some flies, maybe here and there. But I think of bodybuilding movements as your armor building. That base, like as you mature in fitness, you realize that bodybuilding is just making sure your joints are healthy and your muscles, like your elbows, your knees, leg extensions, your hamstring curls, your bicep curls. Like that's just strengthening the ligaments and the tendons. Like that is your armor building. Your spear and your dynamic effort stuff is the kettlebell swing, is the sandbag over shoulder. It's the landmine clean and jerk. But you even then you can take a landmine and just do strict coiled presses with it. So I mix it into where even if you are in a bodybuilding gym, say if they have one sandbag or one heavy kettlebell, say you're doing barbell squats. You warmed up with 50 leg extensions. You warmed up with 10 minutes on the stairs, whatever your warm up is. You could do 5 sets of 10 barbell squats, and every time you go up in weight, just go to your kettlebell swings. Or even if you do 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1 rep max, just go in the corner and use that kettlebell and do 10 to 15 sets. You're building hip extension, you're building hamstring strength, you're building that hinge while also hitting a barbell squat superset and going for a 1 rep max. You're keeping your heart rate up, you're working your grip strength. There's so many different ways to add it in. And my gym is small. You know, do I have state of the art equipment? Kind of. Like I have 2 specialty squat racks, but it's really just a skier, get some barbells, some sandbags, kettlebells, clubs, medicine balls. That's really it. And it doesn't need to be a whole decked out facility. You can have an 800 square foot spot, deck it out the way you want over time, and then really structure a program where you get strong as fuck and become a beast. It's when you have too many options that's where people start to get all disheveled and start to overthink stuff. Well, I got to do my accessory work. Oh, but wait, I got to do my cardio. Oh, wait, but I also got to do my mobility. Oh, wait, but I didn't foam roll. I didn't get my glutes activated, so I can't squat. You know, like there's so much shit going around with people.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that. I find I'm almost glad that my basement is not the biggest because I feel like there's some people that have home gyms or basement gyms or garage gyms and the space becomes so big that it just becomes obnoxious and then they end up getting more equipment that they need, which they end up using like a piece like once a month or something like that. So I find if you just have like a small amount of dedicated tools, that's really all you need, regardless of what those actual tools are.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always the people that that have the state of the art everything and who have the home gyms and they don't even use it. How many people do you know, or how many people have you heard that they have a Peloton in their garage, or they have a whole gym at home, but they still go to a gym to get trained by somebody? It's like you just invested all that money into a gym, a home gym, and you don't even use it. So it's also like people. I think people just in general, not even with unconventional training, people in general are just like not clueless, but they don't know what to do or they don't know what to follow. You know, it's like I feel like some of them think of it as just a trend and they don't understand that you are going into the gym to get results. You are going to the gym to get strong and to learn new skills and to, help yourself and then eventually help others if, excuse me, if you want. So it's a lot of like negligence. It's a lot of areas in the fitness industry that is making it dumbed down. That's making it to where everybody can do it, but people are either lazy or honestly they don't know what to do. They have no idea what to follow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Out of the pieces of training equipment, if you could narrow it down to just one, what would it be?
I go back and forth with the kettlebell, the sandbag sometimes. I think honestly, like I love the kettlebell, but I think sandbags. I think sandbags is very simple for people to use and it's transfers over to a lot of strength with just regular functionality. So if I had to pick, like if I was on an island and I was stranded, just to keep myself sane and in shape, I would have like a 150 sandbag. That's it. Push it, press it, throw it, carry it, hand clean it, and just that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I feel like it's got to be within the last month or so. I was doing sandbag rows for the first time. And
Hmm.
obviously, you're not going to get that huge range of motion because it bumps into your chest, right? So, but what I liked about that is as it hit my chest, I was almost like still pulling it. So I was getting this nice like isometric contraction in my back, and of course, someone had to butt in with their little like science-based opinion, and it was like I'm not getting the optimal stretch or contraction or something. And I just feel like there's too many people that think like it's like a one size fits all in terms of what tool is used, rep ranges, ranges of motion, and all that stuff. But what people need to understand is these are different. Like a sandbag row and a barbell row, those are two totally different exercises. Two totally different applications. They train similar yet different things, and I feel like there's too much dogma. And I like to think that I'm open minded on most things. I feel like maybe 10 years ago, if I saw someone doing like this unconventional stuff, I would have been like, oh, that's stupid. It's squat, bench, and deadlift over everything. But as you get older, one way of training gets a little bit boring after a while. And then I
Oh
feel
yeah.
like I found your page right when I started getting into jujitsu. And I feel like that was almost like the gateway between the two. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool because I had no desire to compete in powerlifting anymore. So it was like, why am I pigeonholing myself? Sure, I'll still do those movement patterns, but it's not going to be the top of my pyramid, right? So it's like there's other tools, and they're just fun. At the end of the day, they're fun, and if you are having fun during training, you're less likely to burn out or stop doing it or anything like that, right?
Absolutely. And it's always funny like hearing from the peanut gallery because they think they know everything until they actually do it. So I had somebody tell me that I can't do what I'm doing every day. I can't go 100% every day. That was 3 years ago and I'm still doing it. Like I'm still doing this stuff every day. So it doesn't matter how old or how young you are. Like people will say, "Oh, you're only 28 years old. That's why you can do all that stuff." It's like no. Like I have clients in their 50s and their 60s doing this stuff with me. Like not even like just doing the skier. Like they are deadlifting with me. They are kettlebell swinging with me. They are doing sandbags with me. But also, it's limitations that we put on ourselves from whatever standpoint it could be. It could be from an athletic standpoint. Um, Scientific based. Like there is a constant debate between everybody because everybody has their own opinions with stuff. But I am all open to learning. I'm all open to learning and seeing from people's different perspectives. Like if you think a science-based approach is going to help myself or my clients learn better, okay, I will try it out. May work for some, may work for none. If you think that getting more of a isometric or more of a benefit in barbell training is better than the sandbag, okay, that's your opinion. That's what you prefer. That's what you want. If you are a person looking at me and you're saying all this shit that I can't do this, I can't do that, then that's where I have an issue. Then that's where I'm like, all right, you're going to talk down on my style, what I'm doing, when in reality, it could be what you need. That training style, what I do, could be what you need to get stronger, to even bring that spark back into you. I've worked with a lot of coaches and a lot of trainers, and even when they train with me, they're like, "Holy crap! Like this guy's nuts! Like how does he still do what he do?" Because you can't lose the spark in what in your training. And I don't lose that spark. I love training. It's so much fun. Like all the stuff that I do, or even when I do jiu-jitsu, like being with my homies and hanging out with my friends and just training with them and having camaraderie and community. I think people just need to find not just the best program, but the best way possible in all senses to make sure they are connected with themselves with training, and also just not looking to talk down on people. I don't hate on anybody's style. I don't care, you know. And I was talking to my girlfriend Sam, like with kettlebells, for example, because now I'm certified under her. I never thought about getting a kettlebell certification because I had an ego. I'm like, oh, I'm strong. I can snatch a 150-pound bell over my head. What do I need to learn from a kettlebell coach? But it wasn't until a year ago when, at the time me and her were just friends, that the stuff that she was saying meant, like, it resonated with me because she was about pushing weight, increasing in weight, getting strong, going into different movements and like hip extension, hip flexion, just stuff that I need to learn because I don't know any of that stuff. I just know how to hinge. I know how to do it. I know how to teach it in my way, but to really be a coach and like piece by piece break it apart, I was very intrigued. I was impressed by that. I was like, oh wow, like I don't know everything. I don't know everything about this stuff. I don't know everything about anything. Like I still don't know everything when it comes to kettlebells. Like I'm sure if I met another guy from Russia doing it the way he does it, then I'll probably learn or take something from him and I can bring it to myself for my own gym. So I don't know. I think everybody needs to be open minded about different training styles. And if you are talking down on somebody's training style, when it is really making results within themselves and their clients and their business, then you really have to kind of look deep in within yourself and ask yourself a lot of those retrospective questions of how you're really doing in your career, what you're doing with your athletic background, or whatever it is that you're doing at the time being.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I feel you'd be able to answer this, but would you say that the biggest misconception when people say, oh, kettlebells don't build muscle, don't build strength, don't build whatever, is that people are just simply using too light of kettlebells?
100%. Absolutely, 100%. Because what do you see in most gyms? You just see these,
Yeah.
just in the corner somewhere. Like people don't know what they're doing. They're like this, or they're here. They're like doing a bunch of other crazy stuff. So I'm not saying every gym needs all these kettlebells, but any type of training you can get strong and you can build muscle if you go heavy enough. Common recurring thing is people don't want to get hurt. They don't want to be uncomfortable. Learning kettlebells is not bicep curls. Bicep curls are easy as can be. What do? Up and down, up and down. What are you doing with the kettlebell? Going into hip flexion, popping your hips, going to hip extension, rowing back, cleaning up, making sure your elbow is in tight, making sure your form is good. Like it's hard for people to learn. Like the guy Dr. Mike, like he craps on the kettlebell all the time, and he does jiu-jitsu too, so he really doesn't know what he's talking about because a kettlebell builds your grip, it builds your awareness. If you're learning how to do Turkish get-ups or you're doing a technical stand-up, it's the same thing. You're framing away from your opponent, you're posting your hand, you're lifting your hips up, and you're coming back, making sure that they don't pass your guard, or you can at least come up to them on a takedown. So I think it's like it's the negligence that I was talking about, but also it's not the openness to try something different or to at least give it a chance. If most gyms had these set of kettlebells, then yeah, absolutely, it would definitely thrive more. Excuse me, thrive more than what is happening now in the fitness world. 100%.
Yeah, because it's just like any other weight. If one day you're doing overhead presses with a 53-pound kettlebell, and then a year later you're doing overhead presses with a 106-pound kettlebell,
Yeah.
it's just like if you were to go up in weight in a dumbbell or a barbell, you're going to get stronger. Well, you got stronger, but you're going to get bigger. There's just no way the body understands it's like, oh, well, there's a kettlebell in the hand, so I'm not going to build as much muscle. Resistance is resistance. Your body doesn't know the difference. That's all it knows is resistance.
And my friend Ja Hala from Harlem, he says the same thing. Like he says that your body doesn't know the difference. What you just said, it doesn't know that it's a kettlebell, that it's a sandbag, that it's a barbell. It is resistance. The body is going to adapt the way it should. So it really just depends on how heavy you are going, and you're like, you can't, you can't walk around it. You can't tiptoe around the fact that you need to lift heavier, and that is most people's problem. And if you're working with a patient, if you're working with somebody who is, going through whatever that they're going through, a torn meniscus or a shoulder, herniated disc, and you're putting them through physical therapy and nothing's happening, then you might just need to add load to them. You may just have to add weight to them. That's why they're not making the progress that you want, because you're babying them too much. They need to get stronger. And it doesn't matter how old they are, it doesn't matter what injury they have. At some point, you have to get the body stronger and you have to add load. Most of the time, that is the only way that is going to work. I'm not a doctor, but I've seen different scenarios. I've worked with clients in my gym. I've heard stories, and that's the whole basis of it. And that's just the truth.
Yeah, I would say strength also, I think, carries over to almost every other athletic endeavor and athletic quality. No one can ever be too strong. I talked about this with someone else. No one can ever be too strong. If an athlete is only strong, but they're not mobile, fast, flexible, whatever, they don't have good cardio, then that's bad. But if they have all those other attributes and you make them stronger, you're only going to make them that much better of an athlete. So this thing, and I also think people, when they think about strength, they think of it as a one rep max powerlifting type of
Yeah.
strength. And that's not the only form of strength. Strength is just simply doing more weight over the period of time in whatever modality, whatever exercise you've chosen. It's not just a squat, bench, and deadlift. And I do think people are afraid to add X amount of weight to the bar just for the fact that they are afraid to get hurt. But if you're doing it responsibly and you're not overloading yourself too quickly, you're really not going to get hurt. It's just a mentality some people have to get over.
Dude, you can get hurt. You can get hurt just by moving your neck the
Yeah,
wrong way. I've done that before. I hurt my neck by sneezing, and I'm like
that
this.
makes sense.
Like it happens. Like it you could get hurt doing anything, and it's happened to me where I would sneeze and I'm like, oh shit, like my neck hurts. It's so stiff. Like I can't move it. So I get it though. Like the fear of getting hurt is mitigating risk. It's like, what risk are you willing to take in order to get stronger to hit a PR? You can get hurt deadlifting, you can get hurt kettlebell snatching. The question is, are you willing to take the risk to get there at that point? If you're not, then that's perfectly fine. But just know you're not going to make progress in your strength. It's not going to be there. If you're willing to take that risk safely, if you're willing to put safety straps on when you're doing a squat and you fail and you bail out, awesome. If you're willing to put a weight belt on if you need it when doing a heavy max rep deadlift, and you're not hunching going over here trying to pull it up, and you drop it instead of pulling your back out, that's different. If you are benching and your elbows or your shoulder give out, and honestly that kind of happened to me today, like my right shoulder buckled, and I was like, oh, I got pissed. I was like, no, that does not happen. So I brushed it off and I went through it. There was no pain. There was no um, imbalances that were happening. So I said, all right, everything's good. I feel good. I got angry and I just finished my set. So it's really just the risk to reward ratio. How much are you willing to risk? If you're not willing to risk, then that's cool. That's fine. Just don't feel down on yourself because you're not getting stronger in certain ways.
Yep. Well said. I've seen the way you perform box squats, and it seems like they're on a bench or on a box. I can't really tell. They're slightly above
Bench, yeah.
parallel, and you kind of do them touch and go. Is there any like very ballistic? Is there any reason for that? Is it training for a certain quality, or that's just the way you'd like to do them?
That's the way I like to do them, because I feel like if I reset, I don't have that static strength to just have 500 and just pop back up. So I like to touch and go. It does relate to the West Side Barbell stuff of the dynamic effort stuff. And I feel like if I had the box or the bench any lower, then I basically just be doing a barbell squat. Like if I'm like the point of a box squat is to build that strength and explosiveness on the way up. Yeah, it's range of motion, but you're not getting deep into a squat. If you want to go below parallel on a box squat, you might as well just barbell squat. You're just kind of tinkering with your ego at that point, and you're saying, "Oh yeah, I could put 405 on the squat, and I can squat it." No, it's different than stopping on a box and having that in your head of like, oh, I could just sit down while you have 400 pounds on a regular barbell, you going all the way down and up, and there's no box. That's different. But that's just really how I like to do it. And again, my hips are so externally rotated that I need a lot of more internal rotation work. That in that scenario, I need to be wide and I need to kick off like that. Yeah.
Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. Um, do you do any, and I think I know the answer to this, but do you do any like direct core work that isn't with like let's say a mace or a club or sandbag, kettlebell? Do you do anything that's just direct core work?
We do a lot of ab rollouts. We do a lot of Russian twists. A lot of butterfly sit ups. I like the push up to toe touch of going from left to right. Some TRX. I just got the TRX back in. We'll do some pikes with that. Um, I like the quadruped pull throughs with the kettlebell,
Okay,
keeping your
yeah.
core tight. That's hard. That's hard work. But the probably the main thing is just ab rollouts. I like to do that on honestly like barbell squat day or like somewhere where I'm gonna really have to brace my core to pull or push a lift. I like doing that on those days. Um, Sometimes we'll do hanging leg raises, or I'll just give the guys like a 100 rep of your choice. Do whatever you want. I don't care. Just get it done. You know, people pick ab rollouts, people pick leg lifts. Yeah. hmm
And where would you place stuff like that? In the warm up, like you said before, at the end, superset with something?
When I went to Texas, to when I hang out with Jason Solfit and my friend Wes Bean, shout out to them. They always do it in the warm up, so I kind of just took that from them. They do a lot of core work, a lot of core work, and it's no wonder that they're ripped, they're shredded, and they're strong. They do a lot of core work. So after I went down to that gym and I trained with them, and also in New York City, I took a lot of that from them. So that was really cool. I mean, you can use it as a finisher or even just like a warm up. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that sounds about
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Um, what population, specifically like athletes, do you think would benefit from your methods if you had to just pick one?
Fighters, 100%. Fighters 100% because they need that mentality and they need that explosive strength training. They need to be put in a scenario where they need to continuously push off and continuously explode, whether it's wrestling or punching, because it's not like a long base sprint. It's not running, it's fighting. So you need to be constantly aware of what you're doing and you need to be ready to explode or to punch or to play guard or to have somebody on top of you and like just be calm in that scenario. Because even with fighting, as you know, I did it for years. The biggest thing with me was just like cardio and strength sometimes. Obviously in jiu-jitsu, like that stuff doesn't matter at some points, but it's just having the conditioning and the safety of your body and strength to even be able to take that. Are your connective tissues strong enough to withstand a double leg takedown or a suplex or a judo toss or a uchimata? Like, can you withstand a slam like that? I've gotten slammed multiple times and it hurt, but I never got injured from it. So even with sandbag training, same concept, doing a sandbag get up, or like what I was saying with the Turkish get up with the kettlebell, same thing as a technical stand up, getting a gable grip and sucking somebody into you and pulling the sandbag into you, or even getting a rear naked choke and coming here, getting that isometric work. You can even take a foam roller and just squeeze it like this, you know? I think fighters would definitely benefit 100% from this type of training. It just builds that mentality too. It builds that resilient mentality, and not many sports athletes have that anymore from what I've noticed and from what I've worked with. Like not many people have that. Like my client Eddie Barrow, shout out to him. I like just giving credit to my friends and my clients, so I like shouting them out. Eddie, he's a behemoth of a 23, I think now he's 23, 23-year-old football player, and he does all this stuff, and he is a wrecking ball on the field, and he performs so well. He moves so well. And he tells me all the time, he's like, a lot of people should be doing this instead. And they don't have the mentality that they do in the weight room because they bench, they squat, they deadlift, they stand around, they're on their phones. How often are these kids or these fighters, like when they are in the weight room, are they really pushing it to get the benefits of it? Most of the time, maybe they are, but probably not.
No, I'd agree with that for sure. I feel like social media, in a way, has taken a little bit of edge off things, like a competitive hunger. Like even when I
Yeah.
watch professional sports, it's like so many of them are friends, like rather than even though they're on other teams. So it's like you kind of lose that competitive edge when you are buddies with someone else on the other team. Like you're not looking to like destroy them, beat them, humiliate them. So it's like I feel like that mentality is also kind of leached into training. Even when I look at some like old West Side Barbell videos, and it's like they look like they're all going to start fighting, and then they'll have breakfast tomorrow the next morning. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like it's just something about that. Just it's competition at the end of the day. It's like iron sharpens iron, or whatever it is. So that's a mentality that is kind of being lost. And it's funny you say that, because like there's all these like cutting edge college football weight rooms and stuff like that, but it just doesn't seem as intense as it could or should. Like you said, there's a lot of laughing, a lot of joking, and sure, I like to have a good time too, but like why are you in that room? You know what I mean? It's not to socialize, really.
Oh no, all my friends, I tell them, I'm like, I'm not your friend when it comes to training. Like, I love you guys, don't get me wrong, but like I'm the top dog. Like I'm gonna be the top dog until one of you step up to the plate. Because when I'm training, I have remorse, like I don't want people to get hurt, but I push myself and I hold myself to a very, very high standard. And like when we're training, when we're getting after it, like yeah, I'm gonna push you, it's out of love, but like just know that I'm not gonna slow down for you. I'm sorry, that's like I don't care if you're, if you're tired, if you don't have the cardio, if you don't have this, because I'm in my own lane, I'm training, I'm getting after it, this is my time, this is what I'm doing. So unless like we're doing a workout where it's slower pace and we're just focusing on reps or we're focusing on the other stuff, or like if I'm doing something else. But if I'm working out with my boys and we're training and I know that they feed off me for motivation, then I will not, I mean, I will humble them, but I will push them to the extreme of where I know that they need to get pushed. And most of the time when I do train with people, they all tell me like, wow, I could really be pushing harder. I go, yeah, because you limit yourself for whatever reason. I don't know what reason it is, but you limit yourself in so many ways, and it's friendly competition. You need to have people in your circle that are going to push you and are going to try to make you better, because that's a true friend. That's a true person and true coach, true mentor, true spouse, whatever you want to call it. That is a true person that really does care about you, because if they don't, they're not going to want to see you do great. They're going to want you to do less than them, less weight, less money, less profit, less business, because they subconsciously are going to resent you. They are subconsciously going to hate you. While if somebody is empathetic and they really have a heart of God and they really have a good soul, they're going to look at their friends, their spouses, their family. They'd be like, I want you to do better. I want you to do good. Some people may come across more intense than others. That's me. I come off as a very intense person, but that's because how I was trained, and that's how my father was with me. If my father didn't treat me the way he did, then honestly I would not probably not have the mentality that I have today. But my father was very hard on me, and he taught me a lot of becoming a man and really just pushing hard when it came to training. So you need those types of people in your life. A good coach, especially when you're younger, is a blessing. You can have the best Sorinex high school gym. You can have the most state-of-the-art Rogue RM43 racks with the best attachments, proper military training, the best high school coaches, the best wrestling coaches, whatever. But if you do not have a good, empathetic coach that actually cares, that actually gives a shit about what you're doing, then that outweighs any type of equipment or any type of gym you could have access to by far. By far.
Yeah, I'd agree with that for sure. Even in my personal life, I'm an elementary school teacher, and it doesn't
Nice.
matter what grade I teach, like, and parents, I can see I haven't been teaching that long, but parents do really appreciate this. Like, I'm really hard on them. Like, I'm not like academically, behaviorally, everything. Like, because I feel like, first of all, kids are just getting out of control in general, but because they lack like structure, they lack just their behavior is just they're just all over the place. So I'm really hard on them. There you can always see a difference. Like, even so many kids just give up. Like, oh, it's hard for 6 seconds, I'm gone. And I feel like I once you become a teacher, you realize you look at adults around the world, and it's like, okay, that person might be 32 in on their passport, but not up here. Like,
No.
I saw someone say one time, it's like we all graduated high school, and you don't know who are the kids that ate glue anymore. Like, you don't they all became adults, and we don't know which are the ones that go to the special ed class and whatever. It's just like, so that's why I'm really hard on them, because I don't want them to become some of these. I hate to be blunt, but some of these pathetic adults I see nowadays that are just like, something gets hard, I'm just going to give up and move on to the next thing. So I remember a couple years
Yeah.
ago, I had a kid where it was like he was in grade two. He anytime it was time to read, he would just go, I don't know how to read, and then just he wouldn't even try.
Just
Towards the
quit.
end of
Yeah.
the year, towards the end of the year, I'll be honest, he would read me a paragraph. He'd get almost every word wrong, but at least he tried, and he was able to figure out, hey, it starts with an I, so it makes this sound. So even what you were just saying, if you have to push yourself and people don't want to be uncomfortable, it relates to so many different things in life, just in general. And yeah, people just need to, I don't know. Some people say people need to nut up or man up or whatever. And that may be too much of a simplistic term, but sometimes it works.
Absolutely. I
Sometimes that
remember
is the solution.
I remember when I was 18 years old, I was teaching a class with my two friends, Brian and Brandon, way back then. And I was teaching people how to jab or teaching people how to punch, and I froze. I was so nervous. I never taught in front of anybody before. And I looked at Brian and I go, dude, I can't do this. Like, you need to take over. And he did. And after that, I said to myself, I need to learn how to teach. I need to learn how to be comfortable speaking in front of somebody or speaking in front of people. And after that, like, now I can teach in front of whoever. I don't care how many people there are or if there's one or 100 people. Like, I am comfortable with doing what I'm doing. But in that situation, it made me very uncomfortable. And I knew that in myself, I needed that. I needed to muster up the courage and the faith to at least mess up and try in order to realize what I need to get done. So I deal with mostly, with adults. I don't train kids really right now. I have one kid, RJ, he's my 15-year-old hockey player client. He's cool, quiet kid, works hard, gets it in, listens to everything I tell him, asks me questions, and he's cool in and out. And most of the adults that I train in my gym, they're awesome. They're good people. But I've had people where I tell them, listen, like, you're coming here for a reason. You're coming to train with me for a reason. And there's not much I could do or say for you if you're not going to put in the time or you're not going to show up with me. There's nothing that I can do. And when people get annoyed with me that I'm hard on them, you are coming here for that. You know how I am. You know what I provide. You know this type of style. It's not for everybody, but it is for anybody. Meaning that, yeah, anybody can come in here as long as they're, level headed and they're not a bad person, but you have to be willing to put in the work. And this is something that is like rent is due every day. You can't go 2, 3, 4, 5 months and your landlord will be like, all right, well, I can't pay rent for 5 months. Well, it doesn't really work that way. Maybe in some states, but it doesn't really work that way. So I just love being hard on myself, but also like some of my people because I know they can take it, and I know some of them need it. And I say to whoever comes to me, you do not need to come here. If you do not like what I do or how I do it, I'm very transparent. I'm not in this for money. Like, yes, money makes the world go around. It's how you pay bills, it's how you travel. But if I was in this for the money, and if I was doing booty workouts and glute band stuff and high rocks and cardio stuff and everything that people are doing nowadays, I would have a 3,000 square foot gym with the best equipment. But I don't want to do that. That's not what I do. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to do just cardio workouts. I don't want to just do leg and booty workouts for women. I don't want to just do chest and arms for guys. I don't want to do that. I want to teach people how to get functionally strong, teach them all the methods and everything that I do, be authentic with what I do, show people that yes, like you can get strong and powerful, you can get the results that you want, but I'm going to be hard on you. This isn't a place just to mess around. If you're talking during my class or if you're talking too much, I'm going to tell you to shut up. Just talk afterwards. Talk after your workout. Talk before your workout. But when it comes to time to train and to get stuff done, you need to stay focused. And I just enjoy being as thoroughly as authentic as I can be because that's going to attract the right people that I want to be around with. That's the biggest thing is attracting the right people and the right mindseted people who are going to support you and going to believe in what you do. And some of my clients, I'm like family with them now. I hang out with them and their kids. I go to their kids' family parties. I get food with them, and I built some really awesome connections with my clients, and they're my friends. So it's really a emotionally and mentally driven industry also because you build connections with people, you build friendships. So sometimes you have to mitigate and you have to separate that from business and your job and with training. But when it comes to it, all my clients know and all my people, everybody who knows me, know that I'm about to work when it's time to work. Outside of that, we're cool, everything's great. But when it comes to working and having that competitive edge and having that hardworking, heavy metal, heavy lifting mentality, it's due every single day. And from the outside, people looking in, you can say what you want. You can say I'm too intense. You can say I'm too hard or whatever. But odds are you probably need that in your life more than you think you do.
Yeah, and that whole thing you just said, that would you say that contributes to like just the culture of your gym in general?
Yeah, my clients, yeah, they all get it. Yeah, I mean, they all get it. And I've had people come and go. People understand it. They know how I am. It's not for them, and that's fine. I used to take it to heart, but then I realized like, oh wow, no, this stuff is actually really hard. One day I was dying. I was like, damn, this is hard. This is tough. I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this right now. So imagine like I'm saying that and people from like off the street who have never worked out before in their life, they're doing this type of stuff. It's funny. But yeah, I used to take it to heart, but now not anymore. Listen, if you want to do your own thing, if you want to go to another gym, I don't care. Just do right by me, do right by the people here, and just be mature about it, be authentic, and just be cool. Because at the end of the day, people are going to do what they want to do regardless. So I'm appreciative of people who do support me. Because, like I said before, people don't have to come here, but also people don't have to come here. They don't have to be here. So.
Well said. For your personal workouts, for your own training, what is your favorite or what you consider to be the optimal time of the day to train for yourself?
Early morning, as early as possible.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
As early as possible. If I could work out at 5 a.m. every day, I would.
Yeah.
I
It
would. Yeah.
it kind of happened to me by accident. I was always like the right after work type of guy.
Yeah.
But when I first started dating my wife, she works at the hospital and her shifts were always 6 o'clock in the morning. So
Mm,
she'd be getting up to leave here at 5:30 and it would always inadvertently kind of wake me up and then I couldn't fall back asleep. And
yeah.
so my gym's in my basement and I just tried it one morning and I was like, I feel great right now.
Yeah.
And now it's like I work out at maybe if I work out at 9 a.m., I'm like the whole day has passed me by pretty much and I haven't worked out yet. So now it's just like I've done it for about 4 years now. It's become like my internal clock where it's like you get up, get changed, go downstairs. I don't see how I could do it any other way at this point.
Yep. And every time I wake up, I'm just looking forward to working out. Sometimes, like, not recently because I have clients early in the morning, but sometimes, like, I'll wake up and right when I wake up, I'll go work out or I'll go do something. 100% morning person. I used to be a really late night person, like till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't work out, but I was also 20 years old and I was fit between 16 and 20 years old. I did all that stuff. And then I opened a business and I was like, all right, I can't do that anymore. I can't train at 12 o'clock at night. I need to sleep because I have clients at 5. So
Yeah.
life definitely switches that up. But yeah, no, 100%. Because when you wake up, like one, you're ready to go. You're not tired from the workday. You're not stressed because of external factors. You're waking up. You're setting the tone for the day, and you feel good throughout the day. And you feel really good, and you're like, all right, I got that done. Now I just do it again tomorrow, or unless it's a rest day, and that's it. You get it over with. Just get it over with. Wake up early. Wake up an hour early, and just get it over with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What I like is you get to almost say to yourself after it's like the sun has barely come up and I've already accomplished something pretty major for the day. That's
absolutely.
one of the aspects I like about that.
And it doesn't need to be in a 3 hour workout. It could be 45 minutes to an hour or even less. Like kettlebell sandbag, just double clean, sandbag shoulder, like just rep it out, pick two movements and just do that as many times as you can. It doesn't have to be that complicated. And a lot of people make excuses with anything. Jobs, kids, work, um, any type of excuse. But they could literally just grab one kettlebell and just do it by their bedside. Wake up, brush your teeth, get water, get pre workout, whatever you got to do. Swing, clean, snatch, press, squat, lunge. Do that for a half hour, 45 minutes, and that's all you need. You're good. That's all you need. Yeah.
When it comes to recovery, do you use any, like, I know red lights popular now, ice baths, massage guns, anything like that?
Massage guns, definitely. I'm heavy on the massage gun. Cold plunges, no. Red light therapy, no. What else do people do? Let's see. They do cold plunge. They do red light. Some people wear tape. Sauna. I like the sauna. Yeah, sauna. I like the sauna. I like heat. People use like these certain types of tapes. Um, I think the best are they take like a bunch of supplements to like for joint health and all that stuff. I think the best way to recover is food and a lot of sleep. A lot of sleep. You need to sleep. My diet is terrible, but if I had a good diet, if I had a better diet, then I 100% would recover a lot better. My girlfriend tells me that all the time. And sleep is the number one thing. You have to get at least 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep. If you're not sleeping right, then you got to fix that. You got to fix that. Fix it because your sleep is where you regrow, it's where you recover, it's where you recharge. You need to sleep. So if you're a guy and you're 35 years old and you're telling me you only sleep 3 hours a night, you need to fix that. You need to go to whatever doctor it is to fix that because that is not good. You're taking off years of your life by doing that. And two, you're just not recovering right. You're not growing the way you should be. So sleep is the number one recovery tool out of anything.
Yeah, you can only get away with subpar sleep for a while before it all catches up to you. Either you're gonna
Yep.
get sick or you get
Yep.
injured from being like dehydrated or whatever. You can pull it off for maybe one night, two night, but if you're consistently getting bad sleep, it
Yeah.
eventually catches up to you.
You start to like you start to like go nuts. Like you don't realize it's happening, but you're becoming so irritable that you're blinded to what's really happening. If you just get a good night's sleep, then you be just in a better mood and you just feel better in your training. Like the reason why you're not PRing is because you're probably not sleeping good. You're not sleeping enough. Yeah.
There was one night, I want to say this was maybe 3, 4 years ago. Like I said, I get up pretty early in the morning to train. And then my friend had this big party, and I think I didn't get home till like 2:30, so I was almost up for 24 straight hours. I remember lying down in my bed. I was hearing things. Like I
Yes.
started
Yes.
hallucinating like that. I was like, first of all, I was like, first of all, is someone just break into my house? Like, but I was hearing like dogs and bird
Yep.
noises, and like I knew these things weren't around me. I'm like, this is nuts. This is crazy. I was legit losing my mind just from one day of subpar sleep. It was crazy.
The longest that I was up, it was, I believe I was in high school or I was in my early 20s, and I was up for 36 hours because we were doing snow removal. So, they pay you on the clock, you're in a trailer, you're shoveling snow the whole night, and me and my friend were like, yeah, like we'll do it. We'll make an extra $1,000 in 36 hours. But it got to the point where we were just like hallucinating. We were just like so tired that we ended up in a lobby of somewhere and we were talking to these people at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we were just like laying on the couches, like just ready to get picked up. And we weren't able to until like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and they're saying, "Oh, you can't sleep here." Me and my friend are looking at each other like, "All right, we're just gonna stare into each other's eyes so we don't fall asleep. We're just gonna stare at each other, and or do whatever we need to do to stay up." And I remember when I got home, it was the best sleep I ever had in my life. Felt like I was on a cloud, and I like slept for a good like 15, 16 hours. It was ridiculous. But it's like you're not alive, like you're like breaking down. I don't know what was happening. I was in my bed just like hallucinating, and I just could not wait to go to sleep and be in my bed. And like that's I feel like with people who don't sleep well, they may have health issues, but also it's like it's anxiety. It's like thinking about stuff. The one thing that helped me sleep the best was saying to myself, I deserve rest. I deserve to sleep. Yes, I have a lot of stuff to get done and I have a lot of things to do, but I deserve this time to rest because my issues, my problems, my work, it's going to be there whether I sleep or not. So I might as well sleep and get my rest in and feel good to attack the next day rather than stressing about stuff that most of the times I don't even have control over, you know? So I think the biggest thing is saying that I deserve sleep. I deserve to rest. I deserve this time to recuperate, to recharge, and to be better for the next day.
Yeah, that's a good way of going about it.
Yeah, it works. It worked for me. It really did. It worked.
Yeah, because if you're stressed about something that's upcoming tomorrow, it's not going to help if you're stressed and then tired at the same time. So you might as well hit the ground running the next day, as opposed to being tired out of your mind. Um,
You might as well kill one of the birds.
yeah,
Not you can't kill both of
exactly.
them, so you might just kill one of them.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna close this out. What I typically ask the people that are on here is just to plug any social medias they have and then just end it off with a message, whether it's your own like personal mission statement or just something you want to let people know about training or anything else. And so the floor is yours.
So I'm doing 3 Instagrams right now. My personal is for myself and my own training, Tom Degiuli. My second one is my gym, the Strength Factory. That's my clients and everything I have going on with the gym. And then the Degiuli method is my online instructional page for all the stuff that I'm looking to add into a full course one day. So yeah, I mean, like I said before, I'm looking to do more online stuff. I'm looking to create something where everybody can benefit off this and they can learn all the methods and bring all this stuff together rather than just kind of being chickens without a head. So that's going to come up. I'm not sure when, but that's my next project that I'm working on. And the message is it's just just continuously push forward, continuously push to be better, to train hard, to be strong, to be big into your faith, big into God, and big into everything that you believe in. Just give faith that everything is going to work out the way it should. You are right on time. You're not too late. You're not too early. There are people who are 50, 60 years old that just then find their dreams of what they're meant to do and what they're meant to be. Some find it at 18. But no matter where you are in life, just continuously progress and work hard, and things will come for you. The things that I have now, my business, my girlfriend, my family, everything that I have now in my life that I'm grateful for, I asked for when I was 18, 19 years old. So looking back 10 years later, that I have everything that transpired and I'm just getting started with what I'm doing. Just be grateful and continuously work hard and things will happen for you no matter what.
Well
Yeah.
said. Well said. All right, so that's it for our episode, everyone. Links to all of Tom's socials are going to be in the description. Make sure you check those out. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to all that stuff. And as always, class is dismissed.
Peace.